Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about the Sun conjunct Saturn in Synastry. Now, first off, the basic character, which is the Sun, and what really the Saturn person concentrates on can be very strongly integrated. The Sun person may often focus and put a lot of attention on what the Saturn person is actually focusing on and concentrating on. The um, the thing is, the Sun person may also intensely focus on the Saturn person's career and work. If Saturn, say, is in Taurus, that career may be connected with geology, architecture, agriculture, gardening, cultivation, doing something even with construction or art or music, finance as some examples. It could be, the Saturn person, may give that Sun person, more structure and discipline in his or her life. You know, if the Sun is an Aquarius, it could be a life, of altruism, humanitarianism. Could be, one where the person likes to innovate, be unique, be different. Um, Also, too, the Sun person, in turn may give, still more confidence in the Saturn person. Um, the Sun person may perceive, Saturn person in some cases, as overly pessimistic or negative. Um, Saturn person may see the Sun person as, very confident, you know, and maybe too confident. The thing too is the Sun person, can be also too can be, this aspect in general. The Saturn person can be a mentor to the Sun person, and the aspect can be one of of steadfastness, loyalty, a lot of dedication and devotion. Saturn is connected, with longevity and time. Um, the connection may be one that is sustained for a long period of time, and the relationship, though, may be dominated by responsibilities and work-related matters. Um, the Saturn person, at times may seem like, maybe they're dominated by, career and work related matters, their responsibilities. Um, and the thing about this is the two of you that are in, this aspect, that have the synastry aspect, may be, oblivious to enjoyment at times. The Saturn person, at times may, limit, the vitality and energy of the Sun person. Now, the thing about it is the Sun person may shine the light, so to speak, on the Saturn persons. On it could be on certain limitations or restrictions, you know, which can be good or bad when when you put the focus and attention and shine that light, so to speak, on one's, restrictions and limitations. Sometimes it could help the person, say if the Saturn person is not, completely aware of it. But, the thing is, if the Saturn person is more cognizant of it and somebody is, putting the focus on that and putting some spotlight on that, so to speak, it can hurt, the Saturn person. Now, the Saturn person, at times, needs to be careful, again, not being overly, negative or pessimistic, toward the Sun person, because that could, cause the Sun person to feel, melancholy and despondent. And the thing, about, this too is, sometimes this could be, the limiting, type of aspect, the thing, conjunctions in astrology, as many of you may know, are neutral. They can have good and bad qualities. And when you have the Sun conjunct Saturn in Synastry, the connection can be one, that's consistent, stable, structure and discipline. But at the same time, it can have certain limitations because the Saturn person, you know, may limit the sun's life, or there's something with the Saturn person, you know, where the energy, is such where it can be depressive, where it might take the life out of the sun person. It might not, Saturn person may not be maliciously doing anything to do this, but that's the effect that the Saturn person may have on the sun person. But at the same time, the Saturn person, could add, again, the structure and the discipline to the life of the sun person. But the Saturn person needs to be careful not to take the life out of him or her as well. And the Saturn person, again, could be a good, mentor to the sun person. If Saturn, say, is in the zodiac sign Cancer, it could be someone, that mentors the sun person, on matters with cooking, culinary work, history, nostalgia, um, even plumbing, laundry, home renovation or remodeling, as some examples. And the thing about this too is that, as I've stated in my previous videos, when I had the videos on my earlier videos on the natal placements, the thing is never, I would say, something like not to isolate, any single, astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, what have you, to make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on that alone, because the person's the sum of all their components in their natal chart, and not just one. The same applies for synastry aspects, because most, people are going to have, a plethora of synastry aspects. Person A and B in their synastry chart, they'll have a number of aspects, and you can't, this aspect though, it's, got it's positive and negative. It can, you have to still look at other aspects, to make, just to see, if there's any modifying influences. Now, as I stated before as an example, this synastry aspect can give longevity to a connection, can be a very sustained relationship. But let's say if these same two people that have the Sun conjunct Saturn in synastry, also have, let's say that, Uranus is an adverse aspect to one's sun in synastry. The Uranus person, may require a lot of freedom from the sun person, and it might not be very stable. It can be a little more of an erratic type of connection. So it's really, you have to look at the whole picture when you're looking at the chart as well. And the synastry chart with two people, synastry aspects that exist between person A and person B. But as far as this aspect again goes by itself, Sun conjunct Saturn can be one that may work out for the long haul. And the Saturn, this is a person, this synastry aspect, you've got to be careful, because there could be, a conflict with, like, who's the boss, so to speak. If this is a domestic situation, say this is like, significant other scenario, these people are either married or they're a couple living together, what can be difficult about it is because the sun can have a connection with dominance and authority. Saturn is about authority. Saturn wants to, be that boss and dictate the course of action. So you might have these people, in conflict in terms of, who's going to be the boss. And if somebody tries to, overpower the other in this situation, it may not work out and be too controlling. So it's something that you got to look at if you have, this synastry aspect in your chart. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.